friends, we are back on Lacrosse Link, and we're glad that you're back with us as well. This week, we have a great show. I am Stephen Stamp, and I will be talking this week with Nick Sakiewicz, the commissioner of the National Lacrosse League. We talk about the prospect showcase at St. Catharines leading up to the NLL draft, which is coming up fast. It's August 28th. And the day before that, there is the Hall of Fame induction for the 10 new members, the great class of 2021. So lots of exciting stuff there. And Tanner Fetch, my co-host, talks to Payton Rezanka, who is a member of the NCBS Championship San Diego Royals. What an exciting game that was, what an exciting tournament, and what an exciting development the NCBS is for the game of box lacrosse. And after the interviews, stick around for the rundown. We'll talk about the NLL draft. We'll talk about a little bit about World Juniors happening this weekend that I'm at in Winnipeg right now, which is why I have the Hotel Chic going on. It's the first time we take Lacrosse Link on the road. We talk about the Six Nations Tomahawks, New Jerseys in MSL, including a very cool jersey for the Six Nations Chiefs. Another PLL initiative that they're getting some cool stuff going on, and let the players play. That is our take. So watch it all here on Lacrosse Link this week.
Beautiful play, Aaron Gray Eyes. He is having himself a tournament.
So he's definitely physical, athletic, and somebody to be watching for.
In the middle, it just bounces off, but it's picked up and scored.
For the biggest, that's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest, that's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it.
Very pleased to welcome NLL Commissioner Nick Sakiewicz to Lacrosse Link. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Good morning, Stephen. Great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to catch up. It's been a while, and we want to talk about the prospect showcase coming up, which of course is in preparation for the NLL draft. So let's start with the draft and the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame induction for the first time in a while on August 27th, and then the 28th is the draft in Buffalo. Exciting to get things going again, and exciting to be in Buffalo, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously lots of challenges to get back together in person, but we're committed to it, and it's going to be exciting to see some people that we haven't seen in a long time. You know, the whole sports world is coming back, and the NLL will be one of the last leagues, if not the last league, to restart play in December. And we've just got to get back to it. There's a lot of progress that's been made over the last year with the pandemic, and Buffalo is a fantastic place and a natural home for us to do it. It's centrally located. So we're excited to bring it back together and do it in person.
I love going to games in Buffalo. I'm sure the draft and the Hall of Fame induction will be the same. It's just such a rich and vibrant fan base.
It really is. It's one of the core flagship teams in the league, and we're excited to be there. We're working with the Bandits organization to help host it and pull it off, and hope to see some of those fans in and around the draft.
So the week before the Hall of Fame induction and the draft, there is a showcase at the Meridian Center in St. Catharines, hosted by the Tualatin Lacrosse League in partnership with the NLL. I just wanted to ask you what that means to the NLL to get a chance for players, because obviously, like we've said, so many things, so challenging. This seems to have come together fairly quickly, but from the NLL's perspective, what does this mean to players getting ready to try and be drafted or become free agent signees?
Well, as the top lacrosse league in North America and really the world, all the best players play in the National Lacrosse League. It's really important for the league to take a leadership position and support all those entities out there like Tualatin and many others that are looking to grow the game and looking to provide opportunities for players to fulfill their dream. And their dream is to play in the NLL. So we've signed an event agreement to support them in this first combine event, basically tryout event, and provide the opportunity for our coaches, for our scouts, and most importantly for those players that are participating in that combine, to give them the opportunity to be seen by our technical staffs and have an opportunity to play in the NLL. The NLL has to support all these organizations who have an authentic view at growing the game. We've got to grow the game in both Canada and the United States. And now with World Lacrosse being recognized by the IOC, we need to support the Olympic effort as well.
Mm-hmm. And the great thing about getting, I think, a showcase going is this year, maybe more important than ever, obviously, with very little lacrosse happening over the summer. I know NCBS managed to have a season very well, but, you know, limited season, and IBLA is playing, but the Canadian leagues have not generally had a chance to play. We've just got the OJLL with a short season. MSL is getting a bit of a season, but everything's been curtailed for a year and a half. And as someone who does a lot of prospect ranking and a lot of scouting myself, I know how hard it is to figure out where players are. I mean, you look at players and you're looking at having seen them when they're 19 or 20 years old instead of, you know, 21, 22, like we're used to. And those years are so important, those formative years. So big chance, right, for these guys to show what they're like, how they're playing now.
Big chance, and even more so because of the bad pandemic and the lack of opportunities for these players to get seen and play. It's really important for the National Lacrosse League to support all of these organizations across the entire sport. I was out at NCBS last weekend in San Jose. It was absolutely spectacular. The improvement from 2 years ago in Newport Beach to this year in San Jose was, everybody was buzzing about the quality level of the play. And it honestly, it looked like mini NLL. It was really fantastic. And a lot of teams from Canada there and teams from the US there were competing, and nothing but great reviews. So we've got to support these organizations. Without the support, without coming together and unifying together to grow the game, lacrosse's future is questionable. And I think by unifying everybody and all coming together to work really hard to grow the game, we'll be ultimately very successful in expanding the sport of lacrosse.
I think one point towards that is a lot of leagues are trying out rules, either the NLL rules or very close to picking up a lot of rules that are played in the NLL, which I think is generally a great rule book and provides very exciting lacrosse. I know people were raving in the Ontario Junior League about how it speeds up the game, having the second count to get across center, and just some of the rules that encourage, if not force, you to play a little quicker and more not aggressively, but you've got to go. You can't be hanging around. You've got to be moving all the time.
Well, the NLL product, you know, is been polished for 30, you know, our 35th year. And over that 35 years, the teams and the competition committee and our league has spent enormous amount of time and resources polishing the box lacrosse game. And the NLL game is refined, and it's great to see some of these leagues adopting the NLL rules, because, you know, they didn't have to spend all that money and resource to polish the game. It's already there for them to grab onto. So it's great to see that. There's going to be also a consistency. So young players playing NLL rules at the junior level or at the youth level are going to know the rules when they ultimately get to the NLL level. So having that consistency at every level of play, I think is going to benefit the players greatly, make the product even better. So I applaud those leagues for adopting the NLL rules.
There's a lot of talent getting ready to come into the league, as always, as every year. Of course, this year it's going to be a little different because the players who were drafted last year didn't get to be with their teams. There's going to be basically 2 draft classes full of talent coming in. How does that impact the NLL going forward this year with so many, I think, challenges and battles for spots on rosters?
Yeah, look, it's a good problem, and it's a problem, right? So there's a lot of really good talent that's going to find its way into the league, and there's going to be a lot of really good talent that's going to be left out of the league, and that's why we need to expand more. We need more teams. We need more playing opportunities. We need more games, candidly, in the National Lacrosse League. I think once we exceed 16 teams, we're going to have to take a step back and really look at the schedule and look at potentially full-time athlete performance, because we're going to run out of dates to play games if we expand the number of games, and we'll need to expand the competition window. So these are all growing pains for the sport and for the league, but they're good growing pains. It's better than shrinking pains.
Yeah. Really appreciate getting the time to get together. We haven't had a chance to chat for a while. It just took me coming to Winnipeg for us to to be able to get together. So it's great to have you on the show. And
Well, I'm coming to Toronto for my first visit next week, of course, to be with our TSN new TSN partners, and I'm really looking forward to it. I miss coming to Toronto.
yeah, it's great to have. That's the other thing. It's great to have the league back on TSN. We're going to be on TSN this weekend for World Juniors, so a great partnership being forged there, and it's so exciting. I was back in the rink yesterday, seeing an exhibition game, which was the first live box lacrosse game I've been to in person in a long time, and oh, it's exciting. You talked about the buzz at the NCBS, which was very cool. Good. I watched those games, but I'm buzzing. I know everyone else is.
Yeah, I felt the same way. That was my first lacrosse in over a year out in San Jose, and to watch that final, come down to an overtime goal with the Royals winning it, the California-based team was fantastic.
Yeah, and so many chances before the overtime winner. It was it was a nail biter.
It was real box lacrosse. It was real box lacrosse. So it was great.
Thanks so much for coming on. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Stephen. Good to see you.
All right, fans, here we are with Payton Rezanka from the National Collegiate Box Series. He played on the San Diego Royals, which are a new league that started out in California, right? And a whole new team. And then you got to capture a national championship as well. So welcome to the show.
Hi, how's it going?
It's good. We're excited to have you. And I watched the games this past week there on the weekend, and I was pretty excited to see the caliber of lacrosse that's been starting out in America as a whole, but also right out of the gates in Cali, right? So you played for the Royals. What was it like playing for the new team in a new league and playing box lacrosse as a whole?
Yeah, so obviously it's New Year this year. So last year I played in the IBLA league, which is it was just a little bit different like experience. But I think with the league that we played in this year and playing with the Royals, it was just a lot of like hands-on experience, a lot of practice, like a lot of reps with actual box lacrosse and like actual terminology with the guys. So it was a lot of learning this year, but I think I had a blast playing the whole time.
For sure. And so it was a big difference, you'd say, from IBLA, where there might have been less reps out there and less terminology. So it was a big difference for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was the sport been like within the league, for the league, within the state or within the community, I guess? Are fans buying into the box lacrosse series?
Yeah, so this is like my first year also playing, I guess, or learning actual box lacrosse. So I had a blast with it. Like I loved like the kind of fast pace up and down the courts, like all the reps and stuff. I just always just kind of had fun just running up and down the field. So I think box lacrosse kind of up my alley with how the game's played.
For sure. You know what the big thing is now you're in a smaller, tighter space, right, in the box. So it kind of makes that intensity level go up because there's nowhere to hide. And you being a defender, I guess no one can hide from you. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
What was the experience overall winning the national championship at the national tournament?
It was, I kind of went into the tournament just kind of open-minded, being like, oh, I'm gonna just kind of have fun with it. And then I guess as like games went on, we started winning games. Like I was just like, oh, like let's just keep on going with it. Like just keep the team chemistry up and then see where it goes. And I guess just kind of won it all. So it was just pretty sick experience also, just especially being on the first year in this league, winning it all just is kind of a surreal moment.
For sure, especially when you think about it, right? And that's a new team in the new league. Maybe you weren't expected to come out on top, and the underdogs came out on top. And like you said, kind of caught off guard, but surprise
Mhm.
moment when you win a game, then you win another, and then you win another, and you're like, okay, well, we're actually in this. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. And what the crazy part is, the final was a 1-goal game, and it was between the two new teams, Cali and the upstate New York rep. So, and it was a 1-goal game, which was crazy. All the games were 1-goal or 2-goal games. What do you think this says about the state of box lacrosse at these national tournaments?
I think it just shows like the level of competition. I'd say like you got guys from all over country, from D1 to NCLA guys competing at like a high level. So I think it just kind of shows like the tenacity that this new league's bring into the states with box lacrosse.
I would have to agree. You know what? And every game's a tight battle, right to the finish. It makes for an exciting game for a fan, for a coach, for a player, for everybody. And like you said, I think it shows that the caliber of box lacrosse is a competitive level, and the guys are there to battle it out and see who can come on top. And you know what? Everyone likes a nail biter, right? I like to be on the edge of my seat.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's a little more stressful when you're playing sometimes and you're down by one or something like that, or you're up by one and it's a nail biter, because then you got to really, work your butt off to prevent somebody from scoring or score that last goal. But I
Mhm.
mean, nonetheless, that's the competitiveness in us, I would have to think.
Yeah, and it just makes winning the game by 1 goal that much better.
Exactly. Sweet, sweet victory, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so do you feel this opportunity to play in the NCBS gives you and the other players, I guess, a chance at playing in the National Lacrosse League? And is that a dream of
Oh,
yours to
100.
become a pro?
I think it definitely does give guys in the new league like a chance to play in NLL. And I never really, I guess, thought about playing in NLL until like this past year, just being with playing with all those guys and stuff. But I would say that's like a huge opportunity for guys if they play in this league to take it to the next level at the NLL.
100%. And you think fans are buying in? Were there fans at any of the games? I saw some
Yeah,
at
so
the
there was
national tournament, but
there was ton of fans, honestly. Like we had like some of my buddies, like people brought family friends there. Like I feel like everyone enjoys watching box lacrosse also because it's so fast paced. So it's just we had a decent amount of fans at our the California games when we played NorCal Dragons.
yeah, that's what. And like we said, it's a tighter, confined space. There's nowhere to hide. The shot clock makes it fast. And there's lots of physicality to the game, right? Lots of cross checking, lots of slashing, lots of gritty roughness. And I think when fans get a taste of that in the NCBS, they want to keep coming back, right?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. You know what? And do you think this will help you with Loyola because you're playing there as well, right? Do you think that you can bring some of this experience and working in these confined spaces and take that outside?
Yeah, of course. I think just taking like part of the IQ, just taking my game a step further to field is like the biggest thing. Plus, the nice thing is the ground balls and then the soft hands that you have to have in box definitely will help translate to the field.
I would have to agree, yeah. And watching some of the film there, I think those soft hands are going to help you out in the field level as well as you continue in the NCBS here. I look forward to watching you, Payton, continue to grow as a player. And you know what? I would love to see you with an NLL jersey on one day. Would be a real treat.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to come on the show. It's short and sweet, like always here on Lacrosse Link, but we love to have you, Payton, and we will stay tuned with your career. Everybody make sure you check out Payton Rezanka. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. Follow the NCBS. Follow Loyola. This guy's a man to be watching. Payton, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Take care.
Yep.
Hi, this is Jaden with Al Anderson Source for Sports. Excited to tell you that we got all our new lacrosse product in for this upcoming season. Whether you're playing box or field, our lacrosse experts are going to make sure we get you into the right equipment to elevate your game. At Al Anderson Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
All right, welcome lacrosse fans, Lacrosse Link fans from around the world. You are now at the rundown section of our show where we always meet here to finalize each episode, and here we are again. We're going to jump right into it. We got the draft, NLL draft at the KeyBank Center at the end of August. That's in Buffalo, New York. as well as the Hall of Fame induction. So you're getting to meet the old veterans who played this game and are ready to be immortalized in gold, and the next generation of future superstars as they come in and make their debut in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff coming up. Draft is always one of my favorite weekends of the year. I'll be in Buffalo for the draft, 11 in a row for me that I'll have been part of. So pretty cool. I want to talk about some of the players who are eligible for the draft this year. As we've mentioned, I am in Winnipeg for the World Junior Lacrosse Championships, hence the Hotel Chic that I am sporting here instead of the usual backdrop. I'm going to go through 7 players who are in the World Junior Lacrosse Championship who are also part of this draft. And excuse me for reading, but I just want to make sure I get all the all the details right. So from Canada West, we have Troy Gutowski, hometown boy from Winnipeg here, taking part in the tournament, in the series. And he is a lefty forward, and he is an alternate captain for the team. Another alternate captain is Aidan Danby. He is from the interior of BC, from Penticton, and he is declaring a year early for the draft. So he will be available. He's a defender. And another defender also declaring a year early is Bryce Schmerman from St. Albert, Alberta. And he is another defender. And also in the draft, Hunter Agus, who declared a couple of years ago, he's actually been in the draft twice, wasn't selected. This year, he's got to be. He's playing very well, showing a lot of leadership here at the World Juniors. And I think he's going to be picked up this year for sure. And I think probably fairly high in the draft. I think he should go at a decent time. On Canada East, we have a couple of defenders, Jordan Aki and Will Cecile, both of whom were just in the OJLL series this year, their season. Aki from the KW team in Junior A, and Cecile from Burlington. Aki is an alternate captain for the West, for Canada West. And Hayden Coulter, a Junior B player from Owen Sound, who goes to Laurier in Kufla. Always love to get the Kufla shout outs in. And Coulter, a big righty forward who's in this draft as well. So some interesting prospects here at World Juniors for the very exciting upcoming draft.
And you know what? There's no better place to watch it than TSN. And it'll be archived on TSN Go, depending on when the episode is released. This may have happened or may be happening right now as we speak. So make sure you go to TSN Go or PVR this, of course. Very exciting stuff. We've talked to some of those players on our show. They are incredible athletes, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they get plucked in the draft coming up.
That's going to be fun.
Now, moving on is Six Nations Tomahawks. Addressing concerns of racism within the OLA, and have pulled out of the Ontario Lacrosse Association and will not play until these concerns are addressed. Given the state of things that have happened over the past year as well, it's very scary to see racism concerns in the game. They got to go.
Yeah, we stand with the Tomahawks in terms of addressing racism. I would like to see a bit more information about what it is, because I know some of the concerns they addressed, I thought seemed a little bit wrong. They were concerned about Lane Smith not being able to play because he'd played in senior series. That's the senior C series, but he'd played in MSL. There were 4 non-Indigenous players who were in the same boat. So I didn't think everything they're saying was really accurate, but Indigenous players have faced a lot of obstacles and a lot of really unnecessary and unacceptable stuff over the years. So we stand with their goal of eliminating racism in the sport. And obviously we thank the Indigenous peoples who gave us the game. So it seems ridiculous that they would be, not feeling welcome. So whatever we need to do to make them feel welcome. I know the OLA has addressed it and said, hey, they stand for, supporting the Indigenous players and making them feel welcome in the game as well. Along those lines, Major Series Lacrosse has a new partnership with Uncommon Fit. All the teams have new uniforms this year, looking pretty cool. And the Six Nations Chiefs ones, very cool. They have a Every Child Matters crest on the chest of their uniforms. Pretty cool. We definitely stand with that. Obviously, Every Child Matters. Let's do what needs to be done.
Yeah, I know the Miners had jerseys as well. And it's just, these are kind of, of course, the idea behind it is Every Child Matters, which does, and it kind of surrounds a topic that isn't the proudest moment in Canadians history, but the jerseys themselves are sweet and something that I want to get my hands on if I can. I'm going to have to get a hold of Jamie Plunkett of Uncommon Fit and see what he can send us here. The Lacrosse Link team needs some jerseys.
Right. I've been a bit of a messenger for Plunk at times, carrying some stuff because we both live in the Peterborough area. So I've like delivered some things for him. So maybe I can get a delivery of one of the new slick jerseys.
Well, make sure you put a good word in for Fetchy here, of course, too. I don't want to miss
See what
the
I can
boat here.
do.
You'll have jerseys behind you there and I'll have nothing.
Right?
As we talk about things like that are cool, I guess, creative jerseys, what about the PLL trading cards? They teamed up with Topps, which is one of the top, funny, they're pun intended, I guess, one of the top trading card
Did you
manufacturers.
just realize that, Fetchy?
Yeah, as I was saying it, yeah. Well, top trading card manufacturers in the world. Again, we talked about their video game last week. Now they got trading cards. They got to deal with NBCM. Like, things are happening in the Premier Lacrosse League that really make me jump. I loved collecting trading cards as a kid. I have books full of hockey cards and baseball cards and different cards from leagues. And this would be just something cool for myself to add to my collection, but also kids who immortalize these players and love this game. They want to collect all the cards. They want to get that stick of gum in the pack. It's very, very exciting stuff. But old school, that's how trading
No
cards
gum
started.
for me. I used to just throw out
yes,
the gum.
great
I'm
gum.
a very anti-gum person. I hate it. It makes me sick. But the cards are pretty cool, I think. Now, we are going to move on to a topic that is a bit controversial. It has reared its ugly head again with the Prospect Showcase coming up in St. Catharines for the National Lacrosse League in partnership with the Toronto Lacrosse League. It's come up again that the OLA has said they will ban players for 2 years if they take part, for this year and another year, if they take part in a league outside of the OLA, not sanctioned by the CLA. And they're saying that that includes this showcase. So some controversy there. We're seeing we had a story on IL Indoor, and some of the reactions I've seen to that on Twitter already is saying, why are you banning players? Why, especially in a time when a lot of kids haven't been able to play for a year and a half, for a couple of years. And you're saying kids aren't going to be able to play now if they try to showcase themselves for the National Lacrosse League. I honestly don't get it. I know it's not easy to make decisions about a lot of issues, but to me, letting players play when it's not really a conflict doesn't seem like a hard one.
No, I'm with you, Stamper. I think that's real kick in the can, if you ask me, because these players want this opportunity to showcase themselves to the National Lacrosse League. I don't see why they shouldn't be able to play. Banning players for 2 years and taking away their right to play in future OLA opportunities is a dagger. And then why let those players go play in the World Junior Championships, but not let them play in the showcase? Now you're picking favorites between various leagues and things. So we either let them play in all of it or let them play only in none of it. So I don't know where they're making their decisions from. I don't agree. And I think for those players, they're going to miss out on a cool opportunity, for GMs and coaches to get to watch them.
We're unified. We say let them play.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Let them play. Start the chat.
Right.
Let them play.
That'll wrap it up for the rundown this week on Lacrosse Link. Thanks so much, Lacrosse friends, for being with us. Great episode. And make sure you make sure you subscribe on YouTube, and be with us every week. I'm Stephen Stamp for Tanner Fetch and the rest of us here at Lacrosse Link. Thanks. We'll see you next week.
Gotta get it.